Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. This week, we're going to be talking about information in games and how different types can be used in different ways to hopefully enhance your design. So let's jump on over to the table next door and see what we have in store. When it comes to information in games, there are three main classifications or types that I can think of. The first being perfect information, the second being secret information, and the last being a middle or in-between hidden information. So probably the most popular example of a perfect information game is chess, because it's just been around for so darn long. And what makes it a perfect information game is that all of the choices or information is readily available to all players, or in this case, both players. As you can see at the very start of the game, all different pieces or powers associated with them are present on the board for both players to see. Now, the combination or turns, the order in which the players take those different actions will always be different, and that can never really be known. But the idea that all of the maybe printed information or anything that the players need to know to get started for the game is already established. And so with these sample moves, of course, each game is going to be different unless you are able to outsmart or outwit your opponent into making moves that you want them to make so that you can claim their pieces. But the win conditions are the same or universal throughout every single game, and once you've played once and learned the rules, you'll know how to play for the second, and maybe a little bit better. Now, compare that with a game like Tiny Epic Galaxies that uses secret information as well as public information. So public information, as you can probably imagine, is when certain cards or text is available for all players to see. That means, especially in a competitive game like this one, that players will be vying to try and get those things. In this case, their objective is to collect victory points by exploring different planets. However, one special thing about it is the secret mission card, or the secret information. Every player in Tiny Epic Galaxies is going to start with one, which gives them additional goals that they can work towards to get extra victory points for the end of the game. However, of course, as a secret, these are kept private to each player and will not be revealed until the game is over. So with the action dice, we might be rolling them and using them in whatever configuration or order is going to be best for the players. We can launch over to a certain planet and then, using the matching icons, progress a little bit closer from the orbit into its center. Once we've claimed it, we can actually add it into our system here, thusly, and get an extra ability as it pertains to the game. We'll add new planets for the next turn, and so on and so forth until the game end is triggered. So secret mission cards, or just secret information in general, can be really good for advancing your own goals and going for something that no one else probably is. Adding a lot of intrigue and mystery, as well as that layer of competition when you start to see maybe someone acquiring an extra couple secret missions that they're working towards, will really light a fire under you and motivate you to do the same. Other games that come to mind with secret goals, like Tiny Epic Galaxies, are Dead of Winter and Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Feel free to look them up for more information. And one last thing that Tiny Epic Galaxies does that I'm a complete sucker for is using the inside of the box, printed artwork or something, so that you can actually use it as a component of the game. In this case, we have a dice tray, but on the bottom, there's also a player reference, or in the case here, clarification on different actions of those planets that you'll be colonizing. Pretty cool stuff. And hopefully we can see a lot more games doing this in the future. And Kung Fu Fight is a game that I actually picked up at Essen. It's a Taiwanese design, and it uses hidden information. Here's how. So, the objective of this game is a duel between cats and dogs, as you can probably imagine, an eternal struggle, of course, where you are trying to recruit maybe different fighters to then commit to the 3 different battles of each round to either reduce your opponent to 0 spirit points or exceed their victory point value by 4 or more at the end of a round. So what happens here, you can see that these beautiful screens are already in place, and what each player has is an identical hand of strength cards. However, each fighter might have a different power that you can use. And so players will almost program or commit different fighters to each of the different allotted fights or battles behind their screens. The rule is that you can only spend or lay down 3 of your fighters in a given turn, and you have to sort of hope and hedge your bets that where you put them is going to be where your opponent doesn't, or if you are in the same match or battle, that your value exceeds there, with the effect text also in play. So just to kind of show what's going to happen, I will commit these to where I would like them to go. Normally this would be done behind the screen, but we're a little pressed for space here, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them directly onto the board like this. Okay, and we'll go with over here, and I really want this card, so maybe I'll throw on an extra fighter just in case. Okay, woo. So once all players, or both players, again, have put down or committed their fighters, they will both reveal their screens and compare values. Now, the crazy thing about the resolution in Kung Fu Fight is that it goes from left to right, I guess of the cat player in this case. And so we're going to see and compare who has won each of the battles. So this goes uncontested, which means that this card will go to the cat player. Their fighter will go kind of into a discard. They've been tired out by the battle, even though there was no direct competition, but this effect card is going to tell exactly what happens to the players' scores. So in this case, I would lose 1 of those spirit points, and the cat player would gain 1 victory point. Now in this battle here, I have a total value of 8, and the cat player has a total value of 2. Now it does say here that they will get a little modifier token after the battle, so they don't totally lose out entirely, which is a good thing. We can also see maybe any special text here. All right, gain extra ability points, that's great. I think that's what the AP stands for. And then the extra combat, we can leave a token, which might be useful for future battles in future rounds. So all of these will go into our discard pile. And then lastly, we're going to compare 3 to 4. So it does say here, if you win this combat, you gain 4 extra tokens. Now, 3 to 4, unfortunately, they do not win. The cats do not win. Fortunately for the dogs, us, we do take this item card. And it says here that we can put 1 mushroom token on our side of the arena and gain 1 AP always here. So 1 token in this spot, and we'll just constantly always get at least 1 ability point. Awesome stuff. And so the game, yep, would continue in multiple rounds. The hand of cards is fixed, and they're actually a nice little extra mechanic is that there is a recharge card that you will have to commit onto one of your battles at some point to get all of your discarded cards back into your hand. No need to shuffle. This card, I guess, would actually just stay out to the side because you can use them in any order. You're always going to have your hand of cards available. You won't have to draw from a deck of any kind. So that's one great thing that goes into the design. And again, you can see how the hidden information is in play, really, by placing out our screens to reset for the next round. I've seen a couple different hidden information games, such as one that I was actually designing with multiple players, not just a straight duel between 2. And that can be pretty fun, but as you can probably imagine, it can also slow down the game a little bit while you're waiting for everyone else to figure out their turns. That shouldn't be necessarily seen as a detriment though, because there's a lot of suspense that builds up with that hidden information. I guess I should also explain that hidden information is information that is secret, but only maybe temporarily. Other games that use this might include Robo Rally, where you are programming robots in a battle arena and seeing how they're going to move and attack all together. as well as another game that I'm working on, Happy Hong Bao, which I'll show right now. In Happy Hong Bao, you will be placing these dollar bill cards that have different numeric values into your Hong Bao or red envelope. When you do this, you will use one of the two powers that are on the cards, and as you might be able to tell or guess, there are a few that have an overlap on effects. So the player won't know what number you put in, but they'll have a general idea because every power also crosses over with another card. So for instance, I will put this card or dollar bill into the envelope and peek at another player's, which will then allow me to use that power and see what they have inside. With the goal being to end up with the most valuable Hong Bao at the end of the game. So the hidden information is never fully revealed at any point unless you are to use a special power to do so, but only for yourself. If anything, there's a bit more player interaction and maybe a hint of bluffing involved, which can be pretty fun at a table full of players. I hope this discussion gave you a couple insights or examples into maybe what types of information are best used for certain types of design, or you can totally flip everything on its head and use them in whatever way you see fit for your own. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on future content like this. As always, I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great.